first dates are when it's like reading a new book, you know? It's like, it's just like opening up that first page and finding out what this book's all about.
Yeah,
And I mean, as much as I love like committed relationships and everything, first dates are like interesting. You get to learn about why a person thinks the way they think.
Hey guys, it's Joanna with ISAtv, and welcome back to It's Complicated, our dating and relationship show. Today we have a very special guest, model/actor, Peter Adrian.
Yay!
Hi.
Hey guys!
Hi.
All three of you guys.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being on our show.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Although I don't know why, because I'm not exactly the best dater.
Hey, I am the best dater, so I think we'll make a perfect balance.
Sweet. You're gonna give me a bunch of advice on dating?
I'm just kidding. I'm probably gonna ruin everything, but we'll try our best.
Okay, sounds good.
So I thought for today's episode, we should talk about first dates. What is the best way to ask someone on a first date, if there is a best way?
That depends what you're talking about. Do you mean like with a stranger, or do you mean like a friend of a friend? With a friend of a friend, it's a lot easier. I think you can pretty much text them, ask them in person. It doesn't really matter, I guess.
Okay, yeah. Has there been like a way that you've asked someone out, a stranger out, that seemed to be working? Like
personally,
yeah.
I get the best results when I'm just honest. If I just go up to them and I literally just say like, hey, I think you're very attractive. I would like to grab coffee with you sometime.
Yeah.
I always say coffee, even though like you never get coffee.
You don't ever. They're like,
no.
Coffee. Like,
yeah, or like a movie, or like, I don't know.
Well, coffee's kind of harmless too, because it's like, hey, we could just be friends, or maybe we could also get lunch.
Yeah.
I really ask people out, so I don't really know. But I know what works for me, like when someone is very honest and open like that too, and when they text, but also I don't mind when someone calls me and asks me like, hey, I want to get to know you a little bit, like would you be interested in going to
get I just feel like calling is a little bit hard sometimes because it's so personal. In the day and age that we are now, if I were to call someone, or if I were to get a call from like someone I didn't really know and was like, hey, let's go out, I'd be like, oh, whoa.
You would think it's kind of like too much? Almost?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
A little bit. I would kind of like drop it in casually. I'd just be like, hey, I'm in the area, you want to grab something to eat?
Oh,
that kind of stuff.
Okay.
If it's a casual thing like that, who would say no?
I personally, because it's so funny, I'm like the exact opposite. Like, I actually like phone calls. I guess sometimes it can get kind of creepy, like if I don't know them too well.
Yeah.
But if there's someone that I kind of like a little bit, and someone that I feel I could potentially I could have fun with on a first date, like I like hearing their voice.
I guess it's really different than the way it used to be, because I mean back then you don't really like meet people online as much.
That's true too, yeah.
So I guess a phone call would work better.
Yeah.
Because at least from the beginning, like, you know that they're interested in you, and they know that you're interested in them. Yeah. So if you go out, it's gonna work out better.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like, calling someone or like doing something drastic and like just dropping out of nowhere, like all the movie stuff, that stuff works really well if people are already interested in you.
Yeah.
Like, if they're not really interested in you, then it's really hard, because then you could come off as really strong and creepy.
Yeah, well, there's a real fine line. Someone said like the difference between
it's just if you're into them or not.
Yeah, exactly. Romantic and creepy is whether or not the girl likes you.
Yeah.
Boy likes you.
And I feel like putting pressure on a date, or that's also why I like to do things casually, because the more pressure and the more emphasis you put on a date, the more things can go wrong.
What then makes a good first date? Like something that doesn't have a lot of pressure, something that's not too scary, but something that's still kind of fun. Like what would constitute a good first date?
I personally like doing spontaneous things. I mean, if I were to take a girl out on a date, it wouldn't just be like, oh, let's go see a movie. After the movie, it's done, especially since like you don't want to take a girl in a movie because you can't talk.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. And then like 2 hours pass and you're like, we had all this time together and I still know nothing about you.
Exactly.
Like, okay, yeah.
And then the only thing you can talk about is a movie.
Yeah.
But I feel like for me, I would probably take someone out for like a light meal at someplace nice, where I know something cool is around there. Yeah, so it can segue into something else afterwards and be like, hey, I know this really cool like bookstore or like a band. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, band, a friend of mine is playing. You want to go check it out really quick?
Yeah.
I don't know. What about you? What would you think?
I think that's great. Mine actually is like, my perfect first date would be along the same thing. Like, well, for me, like I'm easy. I love comedy. Like, I think comedy is so great. So for me, a perfect first date would be like going to get drinks, having dinner, and then going to see like an improv show that costs $5.
Plus, like, you want to keep things light.
Yeah, and laugh. Like, you also want to, like, just have fun with it.
Because if you go to, like, some massive show where it's, like, everything is, like, too proper and everything, you don't get to know them. And that's the most important thing for me, anyways, on a first date, getting to know people. Oh,
you're like their genuine
self. I mean, why else would you go on dates? Like,
That's true. Free food for me, but...
That's true.
I don't like it.
But, I mean, like, for dates, for me personally...
Yeah.
I love first dates, just because...
I do too, actually.
Yeah, because it's fun.
Yeah.
You know, like well, that's terrible to say. I'm not like saying like I'm like a serial first date or anything, but like...
But no, it's nice to get to know someone. And
yeah. Because first dates are when it's like reading a new book, you know? It's just like opening up that first page and finding out what this book's all about.
Yeah,
and, I mean, as much as I love like committed relationships and everything, first dates are like interesting. You get to learn about why a person thinks the way they think.
Yeah, it's just you're learning about someone who was once a total stranger.
And that part's like the exciting part. Like the fact that like you have to like do this whole like dance pretty much. You know, it's like a social dance of like, oh, who's gonna text each other first?
Yeah,
like,
it's exciting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I mean, I don't think I think that can get kind of stressful at times too though. Like
of course,
playing the whole like game of dating. Which I think everyone plays nowadays.
So you're a very stylish guy.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. So what would you recommend someone wear on a first date?
Casual, definitely casual. Like I said it from the beginning, like I don't think first dates should be too strong. I think you should definitely wear what you normally would wear, just kind of dress it up a little bit more. I mean, for the most part, I would say to everyone, be yourselves, except a better version of yourselves.
Be like the best version of yourself.
Exactly, because I wouldn't tell someone to dress super cool if that's not their style. Because eventually, throughout your relationship, if you continue to date the same person, if you don't like wearing what you're wearing, you're not gonna be happy. And if you don't like that, you're gonna eventually wear what you're wearing, and then they're gonna be like, oh, well, you used to dress so nice, now you dress super sloppy.
Yeah.
So I would say just like dress a little bit better than what you normally would.
Ah, okay. I heard once that someone said if a girl wears like high heels and like a dress on a first date, it's way too intimidating and it's too much. But again, does that just depend on like the person?
It really does. I feel like that depends on the person. I personally would not want to go out with someone I'm wearing like casual clothes and they're like in full club attire.
Yeah.
Because that would be like, well, what are you doing? We're getting coffee.
Yeah, just like I know.
I think that casual would work best. And, I guess dress to the certain situation, I guess.
Yeah, that works too. Like if you know you're gonna go to a concert or something. Yeah. Like wear something that's comfortable, that's also kind of cool for that environment.
Yeah. In terms of like what a guy should wear, it shouldn't be like too over the top. Yeah. Because I think that can be really intimidating to most people. Like girls or guys, if you're a guy that's like too flary, then a lot of girls will be like, oh, that's not really my thing, you know? So
now it's time for our viewer submitted question. A guy, age 19, 3 years younger, confesses that he likes me. We went out a few times before. He's very sweet and more mature than the guys I meet at my age. But is it okay to be with a younger guy?
Of course. Why wouldn't it be?
Sweet. End of that. So, yeah, I think it's totally fine. I think assuming that the age range is that they are 18 and older and...
Yeah, of course. But no, definitely. I don't think there's a reason why... Well, age should matter to some extent, but 3 years, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I think I went on a date with someone who's actually, I think, about 3 years younger than me, and he was very mature and very sweet, and we had a great time.
Yeah, I think the only reason why people wouldn't do that is because the guys are usually more shallow. And if the girl ages faster, then I don't know. I think that's the only reason.
I guess if like the age gap is like significant, like 3 years is doable, but
yeah.
I guess if it's 3 years, then she would be what, 20?
I don't know, like 20.
Damn it.
What?
I just realized how bad I am at math. I'm so sorry to my mom and dad for putting me through high school.
I was like,
no, but I guess
what's going on?
Well, the thing is, like, she would be of legal drinking age.
Yeah.
And then the boy would be 19 still, so that would make it kind of complicated.
Yeah.
In terms of like going out to bars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if like you met someone that's a good quality person.
Yeah, age shouldn't matter.
Yeah, you're totally fine. I think. And 3 years is nothing, so go for it, I say. All right, so that does it for this episode. Thank you so much, Peter, for joining us.
Thank you for having me. This was fun.
Yes, it was lots of fun. And where can we find more about you?
I'm online on YouTube at youtube.com at apartment210. Awesome. /apartment210. / Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to ISAtv. Submit your questions below if you want them to be answered on the show. And thanks for watching. Bye, guys. See ya. You just have to wait till.
I know.
High five, camera. High five.